The next episode sees us cut back to the Leaf Village, and Naruto's still hard at work training. But even with 200 shadow clones, he just can't figure out how to do it. He can either do the Rasengan or he can infuse his chakra style. Doing both seems impossible. As Naruto puts it, it's like looking right and left at the same time. But Kakashi shows him how he can do that by summoning a shadow clone. And that gives Naruto the answer. Meanwhile, the Akatsuki are busy sealing the two tails, and Hidan is super pissed about this. Not only do we have to spend all that time collecting money with Kakuzu, but now he's stuck here for 3 days. He doesn't even know why he's doing it. So the leader of the Akatsuki explains their goals. Their plan is 3 steps. Step 1. Get enough money to make an army that will fight the wars of smaller villages, slowly capturing the war market. Step 2. Use the tailed beast to manufacture wars, big and small, until they have total control of the war economy. So much so, that even big villages like the Leaf in the Sand have to contract their services. Step 3. Take over the world. There you have it, folks. The biggest villain organization in Naruto is just a bunch of capitalists with superpowers. While this is happening, Shikamaru and the other members of Team Asuma tell Tsunade what's happening. She tells them to inform everybody of the funeral and plans on breaking the news to Kurenai herself, but Shikamaru says that he'll do it. He has a message from Asuma for her. Back with Naruto, and then we see his fix for the jutsu. He used to summon a shadow clone to help him form the Rasengan because he couldn't do it on his own. So now, he summons 2 shadow clones, one to form the Rasengan, and the other to help infuse his chakra style. It's a simple but genius method, and Kakashi is very proud.
There aren't words to express how I feel.
For crying out loud, what are those 2 doing?
He starts teasing Naruto, but their shenanigans are cut short when they get the news. Asuma is dead. Episode 82 opens on a somber note. Shikamaru telling Kurenai of Asuma's death, and her just breaking down in tears. Later, everybody's attending his funeral, and it's a sad sight to see. Well, everybody except Shikamaru. He spends his day alone, thinking. That night, his dad calls him inside to play a game of shogi, and asks him what he's going to do next, to which Shikamaru just gets frustrated, and asks what his dad wants him to do. Shikamaru's dad then just says that he wants him to let it all out. His frustration, his anger, his sadness. Without this, he'll never be able to avenge Asuma. When he leaves, Shikamaru just starts crying. He cries for a while. Honestly, it's one of the hardest scenes I've ever had to watch. He really loved his teacher. After he's done crying, Shikamaru does what he does best. He picks up the shogi pieces and starts strategizing on how to beat Hidan and Kakuzu. The next day, Shikamaru goes and grabs Choji and Ino from their homes. Together, all 3 visit Asuma's grave. They put down some flowers, pay their respects, and ask him to look over them, because they're about to do something wild. Later that night, with Asuma's lighter in hand, Shikamaru, Choji, and Ino are about to leave the village when Tsunade stops them. She says going off like this is rash and stupid, she's not allowing it. But that's when Kakashi shows up saying that he's going to join them. They were going to go anyway. It's better if Kakashi's there to supervise them. Tsunade hesitantly agrees, and Team Asuma, now led by Kakashi, are ready to avenge Asuma. Let's freaking go. The following episode sees Shikamaru adjusting his plan according to Kakashi being there, and then he explains it to everybody. Meanwhile, Sakura tells Naruto that Kakashi and Team Asuma just left to fight the Akatsuki, and they're supposed to go in support. However, they can only do that if Naruto perfects his new jutsu in 24 hours. Otherwise, Tsunade is sending another team, so Naruto wolfs down Sakura's awful food pills and gets back to training. Meanwhile, Shikamaru hands Kakashi something and tells him to use it when the time is right. With that, they head out to look for Hidan and Kakuzu. Back with the Akatsuki, the 2 tails has been sealed and there are just 4 tailed beasts left for the Akatsuki to grab. Kakuzu and Hidan are about to head out to the Leaf, but not before Deidara warns them about Naruto. Hidan isn't having this. He's not worried at all. Meanwhile, Team Asuma is looking for a way to locate them, and they come up with something brilliant. Ino mind-controlling a bird. With that, she spots the 2 Akatsuki boys, so Team Asuma heads out to attack. Hidan and Kakuzu are waiting, when they sense Shikamaru's shadow creeping behind them.
Hidan.
I know.
They immediately move out of the way, only to run into 2 paper bombs. After surviving this, they dodge the next set of paper bombs easily, except those weren't really paper bombs. They were Asuma's blades, which Shikamaru infused with his own chakra. That means that as soon as they hit Kakuzu and Hidan's shadows, Shadow Possession is activated. Shikamaru then uses his own Shadow Possession to take control of Hidan's body to attack Kakuzu. Kakuzu looks like he's done for, but then his arm bursts out of the ground, saving him. Still, Shikamaru keeps attacking with Hidan, and backs Kakuzu into a tree. There, Choji launches a sneak attack from above, crushing Kakuzu. Oh my god, they're really gonna beat them. Episode 84 opens with Yamato marveling at the strength of Naruto's new jutsu. It's almost complete. Yamato then explains that Naruto's new jutsu would be weaker against Sake's fire-style jutsu, but superior to his Chidori. That's just how chakra types work. Naruto thinks he's just about ready, but Yamato says that there's one thing he needs to try. Meanwhile, Team Asuma realizes they are, in fact, not out of the woods yet. Not even close, actually. Kakuzu's unscathed, and says physical attacks just won't work. That statement sounds cool, but looks pretty stupid a second later because Kakashi sneaks up on him without him sensing at all and nails Kakuzu with a Chidori. Kakuzu then drops to the ground, and Kakashi gets ready to attack Hidan next, until he gets roundhouse kicked through like 7 trees by Kakuzu. Kakuzu then takes off his rope to reveal 4 masks on his back. Ugh. Kakashi's Chidori managed to crack one of them, but they all start moving and coming out of Kakuzu's body like demented Pokemon. Shikamaru's shadow possession also runs out, which means Hidan is free too. Suddenly, Team Asuma has their backs against the wall. Out of the 4 masks, the one Kakashi pierced drops dead. Seeing this, Hidan and Kakuzu then go on the offensive and target Kakashi. Oh boy. Hidan puts on the pressure by attacking Kakashi up front, while Kakuzu using Hidan's immortality to unleash a wind attack that hits both Hidan and Kakashi. This means Kakashi can't dodge it, and it won't affect Hidan anyway. Kakuzu then launches a lightning attack on Choji and Shikamaru. Kakashi makes it back in time to save them, but he's shocked. Kakuzu can somehow use all different types of chakra style, which should be impossible. Speaking of which, the episode ends with him throwing a huge fire attack at Team Asuma. It's looking real bad for the good guys. The next episode opens with Team Asuma dodging the huge fire attack, but Hidan is on Kakashi immediately. Shikamaru deduces that Kakuzu has 5 total hearts. Now, Kakashi killed one of the monsters, meaning he has 4 left. To kill him, they need to get rid of all of his hearts. Kakuzu confirms this and then says he got these hearts from different shinobi that he killed. That's how he uses different kinds of chakra style. Oh, and he plans to replace the heart that he lost with one of theirs. Yikes. They begin fighting, and the good guys look outclassed. Kakashi fights Hidan head-on, and while the other 3 take on Kakuzu, all while their mask monsters keep attacking them out of nowhere, Kakashi gets pushed down. And Kakuzu grabs Choji and Ino and starts choking them out as Hidan slashes Kakashi. It seems that all is lost, but the Leaf Ninjas don't go down that easy. The Kakashi Hidan slashed was a shadow clone, and the real one helps Shikamaru get Choji and Ino away from Kakuzu. Shikamaru then says he'll lead Hidan away from the group while they handle Kakuzu. And then, through some classic Shikamaru mind games, he gets Hidan under shadow possession again, makes him drop his spear, and then runs away. Meanwhile, Kakashi and Kakuzu go at it. It's close, but Kakuzu has the edge, and he says it's because of the fact that he has so much more battle experience than them.
The gap between our respective battle experience is vast.
After all, his first opponent from the Leaf Village was the first Hokage. What? Kakashi asks him if he's immortal, and he says there's no such thing in the world, but by replacing his hearts every few years, he manages to stay alive by stealing the life of others. And even here, I thought Hidan was bad. This guy's on another level. Meanwhile, Shikamaru surrounds Hidan with paper bombs. One problem, his shadow possession runs out. Hidan attacks with his spear and cuts Shikamaru's face. He then licks the blood and begins his little black magic grandma ritual. Meanwhile, Kakuzu merges 2 of his monsters to launch a super attack and tells Kakashi he's gonna steal his heart after he's done with him. The episode then ends with Hidan stabbing himself in the stomach. Is this the end for Shikamaru? The following episode opens with Kakuzu using his super monster to go after Kakashi. He looks like he got a hit in, but Kakashi uses substitution jutsu to launch a surprise attack. The sheer numbers game is against him. Kakashi gets pinned down by Kakuzu while evading the attacks from his mask, and Kakuzu is about to steal his heart in the least romantic way possible. Sorry. Meanwhile, we see Hidan stabbing himself and Shikamaru falling over. It looks like he's done for, until we see Kakuzu holding the place on his body where Hidan stabbed himself. Meanwhile, Hidan gets jumped on, then put in a shadow possession by Shikamaru. The heck is going on? Well, this is all part of Shikamaru's plan. To make a long story short, Kakashi stole some of Kakuzu's blood when he hit him with the Chidori. The blood on Hidan's spear wasn't Shikamaru's, it was his own partner's blood. With that, Kakuzu is dead, and Kakashi is saved from having his heart ripped out. Damn. Wow. Ino says she'll heal him.
Here, let me treat you with medical ninjutsu.
It'll have to wait.
But they don't have time for that, because while Kakuzu is down, his masks are still attacking. That is, until one of his monsters goes back inside him and suddenly Kakuzu is alive again. Oh man. What's more, he's turned into a monster. Back with Shikamaru, and he's used way too much chakra. He can't stop Hidan from moving, so the Grim Reaper makes his way to Shikamaru and prepares to impale him. Back with Kakuzu, he holds the rest of Team Asuma and Kakashi in place and launches a massive fire attack at them. They have no hope of dodging it, but they don't have to, because that's when Team Yamato shows up, saving them, and that means Naruto is finally here. With Team Yamato showing up, the battle is now in the good guys' favor. Kakashi sends Sai and Sakura to back up Shikamaru, while Naruto says he'll take on Kakuzu himself. But it looks like Shikamaru doesn't need help, because he was only pretending to be out of chakra. He traps Hidan again, and covers him in paper bombs, before showing him a massive hole he dug underneath. He then sees a vision of Asuma-sensei.
You did well here, Shikamaru.
Thanks.
Before using Asuma's lighter to blow Hidan to smithereens. Way to go, Shikamaru! Back with Naruto, and he gets the laydown on Kakuzu from Kakashi. He sends a couple of shadow clones at him to test his attacks out, but then starts building up his new jutsu. As Kakashi sees it, He remembers the first time he saw Naruto use it, back when it was incomplete. Even then, it was so powerful that it left Kakashi on his knees, and when he looked at Naruto, he saw a vision of the 4th Hokage. With that, we finally see the technique Naruto worked on so hard, the wind-style Rasenshuriken. Episode 88 kicks off with Kakuzu seeing the Rasenshuriken, and he instantly knows that if it hits him, he's done. Naruto sends his shadow clones at Kakuzu to distract him, and they create an opening for the Rasenshuriken, which fails at the last second. Oh no! Yamato says that while Naruto's new jutsu is awesome, it only lasts for a few seconds. It needs to be done at point-blank range. Kakashi says that they should slow down. It's a 5v1 in their favor, so they don't need to rush. But Naruto says he needs to do this himself. He won't get stronger unless he can handle this.
If I can't work my way to the other side, I'll just be a kid forever.
Kakashi agrees. Meanwhile, Shikamaru is standing over the hole that he dug in the ground, where Hidan is right now. He's alive, sure, but his entire body has been dismembered. With that, Shikamaru blows another paper bomb to send rubble into the hole, burying Hidan to rot away forever. He then finds Asuma's lighter somehow. It didn't blow up. He gets on his knees and cries a bit, and I don't blame him. Sakura and Sai show up to see him making his way out of the forest. Together, they then head back to the battlefield. Back with Naruto, and he goes for his Rasenshuriken again. Kakuzu switches to long-range attacks and goes directly for the OG Naruto, ignoring his clones. Naruto doesn't have time to react with the Rasenshuriken in his hand, and Kakuzu takes him out. But that wasn't Naruto. That was a shadow clone. The real Naruto uses this opening to hit Kakuzu with the Rasenshuriken for real this time, and it's glorious. It sends him flying back, causes a huge explosion, and launches about 1,000,000 individual small attacks that cut through Kakuzu like a shredder. Kakashi and the others can't believe their eyes. They look back at Naruto in pure awe, and he just gives them a thumbs up. That was absolute cinema. I'm freaking out. I got chills. I think I'm crying. The next episode kicks off with everybody still in shock over Naruto's new jutsu. Choji and Ino then see Naruto on the ground and immediately help him up and start healing him. Meanwhile, Kakashi looks at Naruto and knows it finally happened. His student has surpassed him. He then sees Kakuzu still alive, but barely, so he lights up a Chidori and finishes him off. Back in the Leaf, Tsunade congratulates everybody and gives them some days off. However, she has a concern. Naruto's injuries don't look normal. After the meeting with Tsunade, Shikamaru meets Kurenai at Asuma's grave. They have a heart-to-heart about how much they miss Asuma, and we learn Kurenai is pregnant. Shikamaru says Asuma was a cool teacher that changed his life, so it's his turn to be the cool teacher that'll change the life of Asuma's kid when it's born.
When that baby arrives, it'll be my turn as guardian and teacher. Guess I've got some growing up to do, huh?
Later, back at home, Shikamaru is playing shogi with his dad, and the discussion about who the king represents comes up. Shikamaru used to think it was the Hokage, but after today, the answer is clear. The king is the children of the village who will pave the way for the future. As Sakura heals up Naruto at the hospital, Tsunade gets the coroner's report on Kakuzu's body and summons Kakashi and Yamato. We then cut to Sasuke, who's hard at work himself, training for his inevitable battle with Itachi. Kabuto tells Orochimaru about Kakuzu and Hidan being taken out, and he's very happy about this. He then tells Kabuto to go get some women named Guren, who attacks him as soon as he approaches because that's her idea of fun. Meanwhile, as Naruto and Sakura are in the hospital, Tsunade explains how Naruto's new jutsu works to Yamato and Kakashi. Basically, it cuts up the chakra network of anybody it hits, taking away the ability to perform any jutsu. One problem with this, it has the same effect on Naruto. If Naruto keeps using this jutsu, he'll lose the ability to perform any jutsu at all. Tsunade tells Yamato and Kakashi to ban Naruto from using the technique that he worked so hard to form. Man, not a ton worth mentioning happens in episode 90. Kakashi tells Naruto's jutsu is too destructive to use regularly, but Naruto already figured that out.
I know my limits better than anyone else. I'm gonna be Hokage someday, right?
He meets up with Jiraiya, who tells Naruto he just needs to train harder so that he can learn other jutsu that are both effective and also don't destroy his arm. Naruto is actually pretty happy about this. The kid sure has matured. Wow. The episode also sets up a filler arc, but like I said before, we do not have time for that. And frankly, I don't have the patience. The first episode after the filler arc opens with Orochimaru and Kabuto reflecting on the journey that they've had with Sasuke. The kid, who was scared to death of Orochimaru in the Chunin exams, has turned into an outstanding asset now. It's only a matter of time before Orochimaru takes over Sasuke's body. He needs it too. His own body's deteriorating at a crazy speed. Unfortunately for Orochimaru, a lightning blade comes flying through the door, and he barely manages to block it. The door is then sliced open, and we see Sasuke standing there, attacking Orochimaru. As it turns out, Sasuke is not a huge fan of giving up his body. He wants one thing: revenge. He needed power for this, and now he's got it. Now that Orochimaru is weaker than him, Sasuke doesn't need him anymore.
Orochimaru, I'm stronger than you now. So at this point, I don't see a reason to just hand over my body.
So he's ready to take Orochimaru out and move on to Itachi. But Orochimaru is one of the Sannin. Even in his state, he's not going down without a fight. He turns into a snake. Sasuke activates his curse mark, and the battle is on. The next episode picks up with Sasuke and Orochimaru still going at it. We then cut to a montage of moments from Orochimaru's life. Believe it or not, he wasn't always a monster. He lost his parents as a kid, and throughout his life saw human beings die pointless deaths over and over again. After seeing both Tsunade's brother and her lover die in the heat of battle, Orochimaru decided that human life was too fragile, and so he began researching ways to extend it. That obsession slowly took him over, until he was willing to do anything to get what he wanted. We then see that when he was part of the Akatsuki, Orochimaru tried taking Itachi's body, but he failed. This is what put him on the path to Sasuke, his desire for the Sharingan. However, it looks like that desire will be his end, because he's been chopped up by Sasuke, until we realize that that's what he wanted all along, because this is what he needed to start the ritual. With the ritual underway, they're both now inside a space created by Orochimaru. He begins the process of taking over Sasuke's body, as Kabuto makes his way back to Orochimaru's room, but when he gets there, he finds Sasuke standing over Orochimaru's body. He asks him which one is he, so Sasuke shows him using the Sharingan. Just as Orochimaru was about to complete the hostile takeover of Sasuke, he fought back with pure will and reversed the jutsu. So now Sasuke is the one who's absorbed Orochimaru and all of his jutsu and powers.
Try all the jutsu you wish, but my eyes.
The episode ends with Sasuke walking away, and Kabuto looking at him in shock. His whole world has just been destroyed. I'm gonna take a break now and go celebrate the fact that Orochimaru is finally gone.
Are you sure about that?
The episode, after Orochimaru kicks the bucket, Sasuke begins his journey towards defeating Itachi. But for that, he needs a team. First, he frees a dude named Suigetsu, who isn't a big fan of working under Sasuke. However, he makes him a deal. If Sasuke helps him find Zabuza's sword, he'll work with him. Sasuke agrees.
You tell me where the blade is, and once I get my hands on it, I'll agree to join your team.
And they then head on over to the Great Naruto Bridge. They head straight to Zabuza's grave, where Team Kakashi left the sword, but it's not there anymore. So Sasuke and Suigetsu ask some questions at a restaurant. Rough a thug up and get a name. Daikoku Tenzin. He's a corrupt politician who doubles as the head of a huge gang of mercenaries, and lives in a super-guarded house. Nobody could ever infiltrate that place. Anyway, Sasuke infiltrates that place, but instead of getting the sword, it tells Tenzin an army is coming tomorrow, so he better be prepared. Tenzin sends his men to the front gate the next morning to greet Sasuke and Suigetsu. Sasuke bails because he wants to see Suigetsu fight, and Suigetsu, well, turns out he's a pretty impressive guy. He kicks the asses of every single guard all by himself and makes it inside the palace. There, one of Tenzin's men sneak attacks Suigetsu with Zabuza's sword and cuts him in half. But that's not going to work on Suigetsu. The guy's jutsu is basically being made of water, so he just reattaches his body again. He then gets Zabuza's sword and makes the whole building collapse, as he and Sasuke make an exit. They then go after the next member of their team, a girl named Karine. The next episode opens with Sasuke and Suigetsu making their way to the prison where Karine is staying. Why is she staying at this prison? Because Orochimaru tasks her with looking over all the prisoners. Once they get there, Sasuke and Suigetsu come face to face with her almost immediately. Sasuke extends his offer to her, leave the dump that she's living in, and join his team. Karine refuses. She's loyal to Orochimaru, and she also hates Suigetsu. But Sasuke isn't easily deterred, and asks again, while also telling Suigetsu to free all the prisoners there. Suigetsu, even though he hates being ordered around, gets up and goes to free all the prisoners, under one condition, that every single one of them will spread the word about Sasuke, a man who will bring peace to the world. I find this pretty hard to believe, but whatever. As Suigetsu leaves the room, Karine locks it and completely switches up.
Look, Sasuke, if you need me and if you want me to, then I'll go ahead and follow you.
Turns out she's been infatuated with Sasuke since the first time they met. Why? Well, the whole reason Sasuke wants Karine on his team is her incredible ability to sense chakra. And the reason Karine likes Sasuke so much is because she loves his chakra. That might sound weird, and that's because it is. Still, she agrees to join them, and together they head off to recruit Sasuke's final target, Jugo. The next episode starts with Karine giving Suigetsu a lecture on Orochimaru's northern hideout. It's where Orochimaru keeps his most dangerous subjects, the ones he uses human experimentation on. This is where Jugo is. So what makes Jugo so special? Well, we all know what the curse mark does, but do any of you know where it comes from? It's not a jutsu. Orochimaru uses a specific enzyme to simulate the curse mark in a person. And guess where that enzyme comes from? It comes from Jugo. Calling him the father of the curse mark wouldn't be an exaggeration. Sasuke and his team then make it to the hideout, where they're ambushed by a bunch of guys all bearing that curse mark. But Sasuke and Suigetsu take them out with ease, before making their way inside. While looking for Jugo, Karine sends Suigetsu the wrong way. Petty as hell and very hilarious. Before she takes Sasuke to free Jugo. Unfortunately, the whole reason Jugo is locked up is because he's an unhinged killing machine. You see, Jugo is kind of insane. He has this huge urge to kill, like, all the time, and he can't suppress it. So as soon as Jugo lays eyes on him, he immediately attacks Sasuke. We then get a quick cut back to the leaf where Naruto and Sakura are informed about Sasuke killing Orochimaru. Naruto's happy. He thinks that this means Sasuke will come back to the village.
That must mean Sasuke's coming back to the Hidden Leaf Village, right?
But we all know that that's not happening. Meanwhile, back at the prison, Sasuke blocks Jugo's attack. He then says he's no interest in fighting Jugo. He's just here to talk. Episode 118 starts with Sasuke trying to convince Jugo to come with him and leave the prison, but Jugo just laughs at him in return. There's no chance he could leave the prison anymore. Not without him. We then find out through flashbacks that the person he's talking about was Kimimaro, one of Orochimaru's men who died in the battle to retrieve Sasuke. He fought Gaara and Lee, in case you were wondering. Kimimaro was the one who found him, told him to come to Orochimaru, and the one who used to act as his cage over the years. By cage, I mean that in a literal and emotional sense. Kimimaro stopped Jugo physically, but also calmed him down. Suigetsu then shows up and clashes his sword with Jugo's hand. Sasuke keeps telling them both to calm down, but they're still going at it. So he gets in between them, wrapping them up in snakes, and threatens to kill them.
Stop it, both of you.
No, don't stop. Kill each other off.
They both then instantly calm down, and Jugo's curse mark deactivates. His bloodlust goes away with it too, and he locks himself up again. He says he can't leave the place without Kimimaro. That is, until Sasuke says Kimimaro died for his sake. Hearing this, Jugo decides to come along. He wants to see just how great the ninja that Kimimaro sacrificed himself for really is. With that, Sasuke's team Hebi is born. And they're gonna be a problem. Back at the Leaf, Naruto realizes what Sasuke's up to and says their best shot at getting him is going after Itachi. Okay, things are getting pretty intense. The next two episodes focus on something a little different: Kakashi's backstory. We see his days as a younger shinobi when he was part of a team with two other youngins just like him, Rin Nohara and Obito Uchiha. Oh, and their teacher? Minato Namikaze, otherwise known as the fourth Hokage. Now, even though he was young, this is Kakashi, so he became a Jonin at the age of 12, which is just insane. Anyway, we see the team dynamic is a lot like Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura. Kakashi is the talented one like Sasuke, Obito is the knucklehead like Naruto who likes the girl, and Rin is the sweet medical ninja who has a thing for the talented guy. Anyways, Minato and Rin both gave Kakashi a gift for becoming a Jonin, but Obito didn't get him anything.
What I don't understand is how a guy like you gets to become a Jonin.
They squabble a little bit, and there's clearly no love lost between the two. They then focus on their mission to stop an ambush from enemies on the border. The plan is simple. Kakashi, Obito, and Rin will flank the enemy and destroy the bridge that they plan to travel over, while Minato will face them head-on. How many soldiers will he be facing head-on, you ask? Well, I'm glad that you asked. 1,000. Minato plans to take on 1,000 ninjas by himself. I guess that's why they made him Hokage. They're making their way through a forest when Kakashi senses enemies and stops them. Minato says that there are about 20 of them, 19 of which are shadow clones. Kakashi decides he'll attack the guy head-on even when Minato warns him against doing this. This was also the first time that he used the Chidori. Unfortunately, it failed, and Minato had to save him from being killed. The enemy makes some distance, but it's too late for him. Minato already tagged him with his flying Raijin. It's a teleportation jutsu that lets Minato travel to anyone or anything that he's tagged in an instant. It's so fast that he drops his bag, teleports, and literally has a kunai to the enemy's neck before it hits the ground. The enemy knows who he is, the yellow flash of the Leaf Village. With this, Minato takes him out. Later, he rips into Kakashi for charging in with an untested jutsu and no plan. He then rips into Obito for getting cold feet on the battlefield. Then Minato reminds them of the most important thing about being a shinobi: teamwork.
The one thing that's important above all else is teamwork.
Later that night, Obito has a talk with Minato. He says he knows teamwork is important, but that Kakashi keeps criticizing him all the time. Obito's already the black sheep of the Uchiha clan, having not awakened his Sharingan yet, and he knows he can't compete with Kakashi. But he feels like Kakashi is too much of a stickler for the rules. Minato agrees. Kakashi cares about the rules way too much, but then he explains why Kakashi does this. Kakashi's father, Sakumo Hatake, aka the White Fang of the Leaf, was an incredible ninja. Even the greatest shinobi of the village feared him. Kakashi grew up with that genius over him, so naturally he turned out to be one himself. However, this is where all the good stuff ends. You see, Sakumo was once on a mission, and he had to make a choice: complete the mission or save his comrades. Though the rules say that first and foremost a shinobi is to complete the mission, Sakumo saved his comrades' lives instead. This led to Sakumo being publicly ridiculed and blamed for the failure of the mission. Even the very comrades he saved turned on him. It got so bad that he couldn't take it anymore, and one day he ended his own life. This is why Kakashi is the way he is about rules, because not following rules took away the most important person in his life. After hearing this, Obito realizes that he's been harsh on Kakashi. The next day, they get ready to split up, and Obito calls Kakashi captain, since he's ready to work with him now. But But that goes down the drain almost immediately when they get ambushed and Rin gets captured. Obito says they need to go after her, but Kakashi says the mission comes first. Obito gets into a huge fight with him, asking if Kakashi truly feels that way. Kakashi says that he does, but you can see in his eyes that he doesn't really mean it. Obito says he's going after Rin, before delivering one of the hardest lines in all of fiction. He first says he thinks Kakashi's dad was a true hero, before saying, "Those who don't follow the rules are scum, but those who abandon their friends are even worse than scum." With this, they both go their separate ways. The second part of Kakashi's backstory unfolds in episode 120. Minato is fighting enemies on the front line and tells his comrades to leave all the fighting to him. They just have to throw the kunai with his flying Raijin on them. Meanwhile, Obito finds out that the bad guys are interrogating Rin, so he gets ready to infiltrate their location. Unfortunately though, he's super clumsy and makes a noise, so the enemy uses camouflage jutsu to ambush him. Blood spills in the air, but it's not Obito's. Kakashi arrived in the nick of time to save him from the enemy. Still, the bad guy isn't a pushover. He immediately camouflages himself again. He then attacks Kakashi out of nowhere, slashing his left eye, leaving Kakashi with just one eye. Obito then finally decides to stop being a scaredy cat and manages to stab the enemy with a kunai while he was camouflaged. He did it, because he finally awoke his Sharingan. With one guy down, they go inside to get the other and save Rin. Kakashi and Obito work as a team. It's a beautiful sight to see. They manage to free Rin, but before they can get out, the guy they just fought brings the roof down on them. As the kids are making a run for it, Kakashi falls down and is about to be crushed by a boulder, but Obito saves him at the last second. When the dust clears, Kakashi and Rin see a horrific sight. Obito has been absolutely crushed by the falling rocks. Only the left side of his body is free, and he's dying fast. Kakashi starts blaming himself for this. If he had just gone with Obito from the start, this wouldn't have happened. But Obito tells him not to worry. Then as a parting gift, Obito gives Kakashi his left Sharingan. With that, Obito will always be a part of Kakashi, seeing the future for him.
I'm giving you my Sharingan.
With his Sharingan, Kakashi perfects the Chidori and takes out the asshat who killed his friend. Soon, enemy reinforcements show up, and Kakashi gets ready to take on all of them. He then wakes up to see both he and Rin made it out safely, all thanks to Minato being a badass. Minato heard what happened, and he apologized for not getting there sooner. And that, my friends, is the story of how Kakashi Hatake became Kakashi of the Sharingan. Since that day, while Kakashi still cares about the rules, he cares about his comrades way more. The following episode sees us back to the main story, and we see Kisame knocking out the 4 tails Jinchuriki. The Akatsuki then get the 3 tails as well, which means only the 8 and 9 remain. After Kisame gets back to Itachi, they're summoned by their dear leader, who tells them and everybody else that Sasuke ended Orochimaru. Zetsu then adds that he's built a team too, and we find out that Kisame even knows Suigetsu. They're from the same village. The leader tells Kisame and Itachi to stay on their toes. Sasuke is definitely coming for them. With this, the meeting ends, and Itachi and Kisame start moving the 4 tails back to their base so that they can seal it. Back in the Leaf, they're trying to figure out how to get to Sasuke. The fastest route would be to go after Itachi, but they don't know where he is. The second fastest would be to capture any Akatsuki member and interrogate them, but that's easier said than done. Kakashi says they will go out, but they need to build a proper team first. Meanwhile, Sasuke and his team, also known as Hebi, make it to one of the Uchiha family's old hideouts. There, they meet some cat ninjas, as well as their leader and Granny Cat. They get weapons and medical tools from her, and she says she never thought it would come to Itachi and Sasuke fighting like this. Sasuke just pays her and thanks her for everything. Meanwhile, Jiraiya treats Naruto to a bowl of ramen as they discuss the upcoming mission. On the other hand, the Akatsuki get done sealing the tailed beast that they acquired, and Deidara announces that he's going after Sasuke? Apparently, Deidara wanted to kill Orochimaru, so he wants revenge on Sasuke for stealing his kill. Whatever, dude. While that's happening, Hebi is dripped out and finally ready to hunt down Itachi. The episode then ends with the Leaf assembling Team Kakashi and Hinata's team led by Yamato to find Itachi. The next episode opens with Kakashi explaining their plan and assigning 2 of his summoned dogs to every person, except for Naruto. Since he's the Jinchuriki, he gets Hinata and Yamato as extra protection. They're gonna search for 5 kilometers and report back if they don't find anything. With the plan down, they set out. Meanwhile, Hebi is doing the same thing Naruto and his friends are doing, looking for Itachi. Sasuke sends each person out to look individually, even though Karin would much rather stay with him. What is it with these girls and Sasuke?
I get to stay all alone with you, isn't that right?
No, just hurry up and head out.
Anyway, the dogs with Sakura take her to the village, where they sent Sasuke's scent. But it's not Sasuke. It's Karin passing through the village at the same time. The two walk right by each other, clueless about the other person. I smell a fight already. While this is happening, both Naruto and Sasuke are being followed. Turns out, Kabuto was following Naruto, but he's not here for a fight. On the contrary, he's here to help. Back with Sasuke, and it was the goofball Akatsuki Tobi following him. Deidara uses Tobi's distraction to pelt Sasuke with a bomb from above, looking to take out Itachi's brother in one fell swoop. Back with Naruto. Kabuto gives them a book. Inside is all the information Orochimaru gathered about the Akatsuki. He gives it as a thanks for helping them out with the Akatsuki and also for helping him discover himself. When Naruto asks what that means, we see Kabuto's face and witness true horror. He's grafted what little was left of Orochimaru onto his body. Slowly but surely, that part of Orochimaru is taking him over. And the worst part? He loves it. Ugh. Naruto tries attacking him and Yamato almost grabs him, but he uses substitution jutsu to get away. He then says that they'll fight again one day, but before that, Kabuto is gonna kill Sasuke for what he did to Orochimaru. The episode then ends with Deidara and Tobi, who see Sasuke is untouched by the explosion. This fight is gonna be a good one. Episode 123 opens with Sasuke charging at Deidara and Tobi. Deidara jumps back, but Sasuke cuts Tobi in half, except he's like totally unarmed. He's making jokes the whole time too, teasing Deidara and just being an over-the-top buffoon. The dynamic between him and Deidara is one of the funniest in the whole show. Anyway, Deidara starts out with his normal C1 bombs, but they're nothing to Sasuke, so he ups the ante with C2 puppets that multiply when Sasuke cuts them, before blowing all of them together. But when Sasuke dodges that and the follow-up attack, Deidara brings out the big guns, his C2 Dragon. He has Tobi plant explosives underground as landmines and attacks Sasuke from above, forcing him to step onto landmines. Sasuke only survives because of his curse mark. Yeah, he's in trouble. But this is the Sasuke who killed freaking Orochimaru. He's not going down that easy. Using his sword as a stepping stone, he cuts open Deidara's dragon before impaling him with 2 huge shuriken, sending him right onto his own landmines. Sasuke makes it out of the explosion pretty unharmed, and deactivates his curse mark. Meanwhile, Tobi thinks Deidara is a goner.
You did die a death by bombing after all! Deidara, you fool!
But Deidara manages to make it out at the last second. Deidara then sees Sasuke and his eyes remind him of when he first met Itachi. We then see that moment. Deidara was approached by Itachi, Kisame, and Sasori to join the Akatsuki. Itachi challenged him to a 1v1. If Deidara lost, he'd work for the Akatsuki. Deidara agrees and throws an explosion at him, before trapping him with the clay centipede. He's about to blow Itachi to high heavens, until Itachi undoes his genjutsu and Deidara realizes he was about to blow himself to high heavens. Since that day, Deidara has despised Itachi and his wretched Sharingan. Now faced with the possibility of losing to another Sharingan after Itachi and Kakashi, Deidara loses his mind and sends in his ultimate weapon, a giant clone of himself made out of C4. That can't be good. The following episode opens, and Sasuke's face says it all. This bomb is a problem. He immediately starts running away from the giant Deidara bomb, and Deidara detonates it, but nothing happens. That is, until every living thing in the region starts evaporating into nothingness. Sasuke looks on in horror as his arm starts disintegrating too, and he turns to dust. What the heck was that? Tobi promptly explains. Deidara's C4 bombs, unlike his other bombs, release a cloud of mini explosions. Those explosives are breathed in by living things, and then the bombs detonate from inside of them at a molecular level. Deidara is super happy that he's won, but he hasn't, because Sasuke used his genjutsu to make Deidara think that he killed him. Sasuke then shoves a Chidori through his chest and asks where Itachi is, but Deidara just smiles, before bursting out of his bird and grabbing Sasuke's leg. Turns out, the Deidara that Sasuke hit was a clone. Deidara expected the genjutsu, so he's been training his left eye to counter it ever since he was beaten by Itachi. With this, he traps Sasuke inside another C4 bomb. Sasuke manages to cut his way out, but the explosives are already inside of him, so Deidara detonates them for real this time. Deidara falls to the ground, thinking that he's finally won, until Sasuke punches him in the face from behind. How is he still alive? Well, remember that chart that we showed you about which chakra types are weak against which? Well, Deidara's bombs are basically Earth style, and Sasuke's Chidori is lightning. So Sasuke hit himself with the Chidori, disarming all the bombs inside of him. There's a downside to this though. He's almost totally out of chakra. So Deidara decides that if he's going out, he's taking this cocky brat with him. He takes off his shirt to reveal a third mouth on his chest. He fills it up with detonating clay to perform his ultimate jutsu, turning himself into a nuke that'll destroy everything in a 10-kilometer radius. Not just Sasuke and Tobi, but everything and everybody in that radius is about to get blown to hell. Sasuke can't move because of his chakra level, and with that, Deidara explodes, leveling everything. There's just no way that Sasuke survived. The episode opens with both the members of Hebi, as well as the Leaf Shinobi, seeing the explosion and immediately rushing. Meanwhile, the Akatsuki get informed of the deaths of Deidara, Tobi, and Sasuke. Itachi doesn't flinch. While other members are bummed they lost Deidara, Kisame misses Tobi. He was the one guy uplifting the mood in their depressing organization. We then cut to Suigetsu, who uses a summoning scroll to summon King Manda, the big purple snake that Orochimaru used in OG Naruto. Manda is in bad shape, and we see why. As Sasuke stumbles out of his mouth, Sasuke summoned Manda and then uses genjutsu to trick the snake to hide Sasuke in his mouth. Even though they got caught by the blast, Sasuke survived. Manda, however, was not so lucky. He dies on the spot. That was one hell of an explosion if it took out something as fearsome as Manda. Just then, Jugo and Karin show up. Karin asks how Sasuke beat Orochimaru if he can barely handle one member of the Akatsuki, and Sasuke gives it to her straight. Orochimaru was already super weak. If he wasn't, Sasuke would have lost. Meanwhile, Kisame asks Itachi how he feels about Sasuke being dead, and Itachi says he doesn't feel anything, because he knows Sasuke's not dead. Not even gonna ask how he knows that, this guy is just super scary. We then see Naruto and his friends making it to the site of the explosion. The dogs determine Sasuke was here, while Kakashi figures out he faked his death to escape. But he's not getting away that easily, because Kiba has picked up his scent.
A nose sharper than a ninja hound's. Impressive.
He knows where Sasuke is. After all this, we cut to the leader of the Akatsuki, and we finally see his full face and learn his name. Pain. Yeah, that's it, that's his name. He's talking to somebody who's shrouded in the shadows. That person tells him Sasuke's ready to take on Itachi, that he'll eventually surpass him. He then tells Pain to capture Naruto, that failure is not an option. Looks like the leader of the Akatsuki answers to somebody too. But who the hell is this guy? Who the hell is Pain? Well, we're just gonna have to wait to find out. Meanwhile, Sasuke is being bandaged up by Jugo in a hotel nearby. Sasuke asks if his team found any info on Itachi. Karin got none, and while Suigetsu and Jugo got something, it wasn't very concrete. Karin and Suigetsu then start squabbling, and the noise makes Jugo's murderous desire come out. But Sasuke calms him down with his Sharingan and immediately calms him down. Sasuke passes out after this, and Jugo lays him down to rest. Meanwhile, Naruto and the others are hot-footing it to Sasuke's location. They're finally closing in on him. But the episode is not over yet, because we cut back to Pain and his teammate Konan, and they're still talking to the figure in the shadows. He warns them about Naruto and how dangerous he is. But Konan is unfazed. Pain has never lost a battle. The man in the shadows laughs and agrees before setting out to leave. But before he goes, he turns around to reveal his face. It's Toby? The goofball who just died? And it's not just that. His voice has completely changed too. He then announces his true identity, Madara Uchiha. What the hell is going on? The episode opens with Jiraiya bursting into Tsunade's office. He's found out the location of the Akatsuki leader. He tells Tsunade about it over a bottle of beer. Okay. Meanwhile, Karin is out getting supplies for the team when he senses the Leaf Shinobi coming for them. So Team Hebi then makes a break for it. To distract Naruto and the others, Karin tears up Sasuke's old clothes and has Jugo's birds take them to different locations to throw off the dogs and Kiba. Kiba senses Sasuke's scent going different ways, so Naruto summons a bunch of shadow clones to cover every inch of ground. He's going through the forest, and he sees a pair of Sharingan eyes staring at him from behind a tree. It's not Sasuke, it's Itachi. Bro is emitting stalker vibes for real. He's in here to capture Naruto. He just wants to talk. Itachi asks Naruto why he's so obsessed with Sasuke, and Naruto says it's because, unlike Itachi, he actually loves Sasuke. Ooh. Naruto then attacks, but it's useless. He's already under Itachi's genjutsu.
I just want to talk.
Meanwhile, Jiraiya is explaining how the leader of the Akatsuki is in the Hidden Rain village. He says he's going to go after him alone. Tsunade says that's insanity, but Jiraiya says it's his duty as a Sannin. Tsunade then apologizes to Jiraiya. He always gets the short end of the stick. He was supposed to be the Hokage after the third. He was supposed to save Orochimaru, but Jiraiya just laughs it off. Says it's their duty to look out for the younger generation. That's what makes old people so cool. Is Jiraiya a pervert? Yeah. But is he also the most lovable man? Yeah. Back with Naruto, and we clearly missed something between him and Itachi because Itachi just leaves. Although I'm sure that we'll find out about that later. After that, we go back to Tsunade, who is throwing up because she drank too much. That's embarrassing. Later, they're sitting on a bench, and Tsunade asks Jiraiya to come back alive. She can't lose him too. Jiraiya then laughs and jokes about Tsunade always rejecting him, before saying men need to be able to handle and even laugh off rejection. Makes them strong. They then talk about Naruto becoming Hokage one day, as well as his mom and his dad. And although they don't say it out loud, it's clear from their dialogue that Naruto's the son of the fourth Hokage. We're gonna get confirmation on this later, but do we really need it? I mean, look at that yellow hair. With that, Jiraiya sets off to find and beat Pain, as Tsunade watches him walk off and cries. You know, we've seen a bunch of backstories in Naruto, but you know what backstory we haven't seen yet? Jiraiya's. It's exactly where episode 127 opens. When he, Tsunade, and Orochimaru were just Genin, Jiraiya failed the same bell test that Naruto failed with Kakashi. Afterwards, his sensei, Sarutobi, the eventual third Hokage, realizes that he's unmotivated. So he summons his Monkey King to show Jiraiya that if he trains hard, he can do cool stuff like this. So Jiraiya works hard, but his goal isn't something noble. He just wants to impress Tsunade and all the other ladies.
I just have to become the ultimate ninja and then I'll sweep Tsunade off her feet.
He's been a perv forever, I guess. So one day, he decides to use the summoning jutsu without signing a contract with any animal. Sarutobi tries to stop him, but it's too late. Jiraiya is gone. He gets teleported to Mount Miyoboku, the land of the toads. There, he sees a much younger Gamabunta facing off with a snake that I think is Manda, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, Jiraiya launches that snake into the sun, which impresses Gamabunta. Gamabunta then tells his sensei, Fukasaku, that a human child is here. Turns out, Fukasaku has been expecting him. Why was he expecting Jiraiya? Well, because the great Lord Elder Toad once delivered a prophecy about a human child that will stumble onto Mount Miyaboku, and that the Elder Toad will then give him another prophecy. Predicting a sequel to your prediction is crazy, but that's just how these toads roll. Anyway, Jiraiya starts training in the leaf as well as with the toads in the way of the sage, because it is his destiny. The training is hard, and Jiraiya improves slowly but surely. He also finally signs a contract with the toads as well. Then one day, Gamabunta calls Jiraiya. He tells him that the Great Lord Elder is finally ready to deliver the prophecy. The prophecy states that Jiraiya will have a student who will become an outstanding ninja, and that ninja will either bring peace to the world or destroy it. That choice depends upon Jiraiya, and how he molds his student. Jiraiya asks him what he has to do, and the toad says the prophecy saw him traveling the world writing books, and since none of his prophecies have ever been false, Jiraiya sets out into the world to find his student and take on his destiny of being an OP sensei. Unfortunately, that was easier said than done, as Jiraiya traveled all over the world. War broke out among the lands. He met all kinds of people, gamblers down on their luck, religious men leaving everything in God's hands, mercenaries taking advantage of the war. But no matter how much he looked, he couldn't find somebody worthy of being a student that could change the world. Then the war escalated, and he had to go back to the Leaf. This is when he, Tsunade, and Orochimaru joined the Third Great Ninja War, and it's in this war that they earn the nickname, the Legendary Sannin. The following episode opens in the aftermath of a devastating battle. Jiraiya, Tsunade, and Orochimaru are all beaten and bruised, standing in front of a man called Hanzo of the Salamander. It looks like Hanzo is winning the fight, but he decides to spare them since he thinks the Leaf will win the war. He dubs them the Legendary Sannin and asks them their names in return. Later, they're recovering from their injuries when they come across 3 children, Yahiko, Konan, and Nagato. Yes, I know you've heard the name Konan before, but just wait for it. Anyway, these kids are orphans who lost their parents in the war, so Jiraiya gives them some food. They then start following the Sannin, and Konan gives Tsunade an origami flower as a thank you gift. Yahiko then asks the Sannin to teach them ninjutsu so that they can be strong. Orochimaru wants to kill them, because of course he does. But Jiraiya decides to stay with the kids until they can defend themselves.
I'm gonna stay here and look after these 3 for a while.
What?
During his time with them, we see that Nagato is a rather sensitive boy who cries easily, while Yahiko hides his sadness with anger. Later, Jiraiya can't figure out what to write about when Konan bursts into the room, telling him that Yahiko and Nagato are in trouble. When Jiraiya gets there, he sees an injured Yahiko and a dead Chunin from another village. Konan says Nagato did it, but Jiraiya thinks it should be impossible for a kid to beat a Chunin. That is, until he sees the pattern of his eyes. There's no question about it. Nagato possesses the Rinnegan, the most powerful visual Kekkei in history, even more powerful than the Byakugan and the Sharingan. Legend has it that the Sage of Six Paths, the rumored father of all ninjutsu, possessed the Rinnegan. Seeing this, Jiraiya realizes Nagato is the revolutionary student of prophecy, and so he decides to teach the 3 kids. He also teaches Nagato the meaning of being hurt, and how understanding pain is what makes us human. He stays with them for 3 years, teaching and taking care of them, and even writing a book, The Tales of a Gutsy Ninja. He stays until the 3 are strong enough to take out one of his shadow clones all by themselves, and then he finally leaves, thinking that the kids can take care of themselves now. Even after all that time, the war still raged on, until one day Jiraiya gets a message from a frog and breaks down in tears. Konan, Yahiko, and Nagato all died. He's a mess. But Tsunade consoles him. He decides that he's still in the middle of his journey. Meanwhile, another one of his students, Minato Namikaze, eventually helped the Leaf win the war. Sometime later, Minato is reading Jiraiya's book and he loves it. Jiraiya isn't sure, but Minato says the main character in the book is fearless and never gives up, just like Jiraiya. He then asks Jiraiya if it's okay for him to name his soon-to-be-born child after the main character in the book. Jiraiya is stunned. After all, it's a name he came up with while eating ramen. But that's when Minato's wife, Kushina, shows up and says that she agrees with Minato. Naruto would be a lovely name for their son. Boom.
I think it's a wonderful name.
Like I said, Naruto is the son of the 4th Hokage. Confirmed.